Kirk Math. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are ready to start dividing. Yes, we are going to review long division with whole numbers today so that we can get into videos and lessons where we're going to be dividing with decimals. We're going to have decimal divisors and decimal dividends, and we're going to show you everything there is to do with decimals. So let's get started. Okay, so like I said before, we're going to be using the long division algorithm. That's what we're going to be focusing on. That's what our standard is expecting. If you have a different way of dividing, that's great. You're always welcome to use that to help problem solve. However, we do expect us to learn the long division algorithm, so I would like you to try it with me and try to make sure, because that is the way that I'm going to be teaching dividing with decimals. Okay, and so we should be able to divide using it and explain the steps. All right, we're going to start here with some vocabulary. So this is, again, review vocabulary. It's all words that revolve around division. So the number that is to be divided in a division problem is our dividend. The number that you are dividing by in a division problem is our divisor. The result when one number is divided by another is our quotient. And the amount that's left over is our remainder. Now we're going to keep using remainders for today's lesson to help remind us how to review long division. However, from after this lesson, we are no longer going to use remainders unless we're changing improper fractions to mixed numbers. For the most part, in your middle school career and high school, you don't really use remainders anymore. You completely divide out using decimals. All right, if my handwriting isn't super clear, or if you need a nice visual, here are the words again. So the dividend is the one that's inside the house. The divisor is the one outside the house, and the quotient is your answer, which is on top of the house. When I divide through, if my number does not go in evenly, whatever is left over that the divisor cannot evenly go into is my remainder. It is what remains. And so this answer would be 18 with a remainder of 3. All right, so I like to kind of show examples of some things they do in elementary school versus what I want you to do in 6th grade. This may not be what you do every time. You may have learned the long division way that we do in 6th grade, but just in case, a lot of times in elementary school, you're looking at whole number division. You're trying to divide into the entire number, 3 into 37, and you would use your math facts to figure out how many times 3 goes into 37. And you might automatically know that it's 12. Then you would do 3 times 12 to get 36. Subtract, and you would have your remainder of 1 left over. So that's whole number division, and that works really well and nicely for small numbers that you're dividing into. However, if we are dividing bigger numbers, we're going to want to do something that we do in 6th grade, which is regular long division, where we're going to go number by number. Okay, so what I usually do, and let me see if I can draw a shape here. Cool. And then, cool, we're going to see if I can create a shape here that I can move around. Hold on. All right, so my little square over here is going to be representing like a sticky note or a piece of paper, and I'm going to use it to help me cover up the numbers that I don't want to use right now. It'll also help me kind of line up my numbers in the right order, which is the thing that I really want to focus on with this long division, okay? So here we are. It is the same number, 37, but instead of doing the whole number 37, we're going to do 1 digit at a time. So we're going to say 3 goes into just 3 1 time. That 1 needs to go above the 3. Then we can say that 3 times 1 is 3 and subtract to get 0. I am then going to move my sticky note or my little cover. There we go. And I'm going to continue to divide. So now I'm going to bring down that 7, and I'm going to do 3 into 7 2 times, which is 6. And I'm going to get a remainder of 1. So what you have here is the same answer. You can see we've got the same answer going. Okay. But hold on. There we go. But in this way, we kind of did it in one big step, whereas in the long division way, we're going to go point by point. And like I said, this is going to be really handy with really big, large numbers, whereas this way could be smaller numbers. And you may already know how to do this long division way over here on the right. But as you'll see as we work through these problems, I'm going to emphasize some parts that I really want you to do a specific way because it will help us when we start putting decimals in. All right, let's do some practice. All right, in this first practice problem, we have another 2-digit number. So again, I'm going to go ahead and grab my little Post-it note item, and I'm going to cover up all but one number, and we're going to divide into it one at a time. So 4 goes into 9 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8, and then I'm going to bring down the 1, okay? Then I'm going to move this over, okay? Little more room. And now I'm going to bring down that next number. So now that I've done that, I'm going to bring down the 5, and I'm going to do 4 just into 15. That's going to be, well, let's see, 4 times 4 is 16, so it must be 3. And that leaves me with 3 left over. Now, because 4 cannot go into 3, that becomes my remainder. So my answer becomes 23, remainder 3. All right, let's do it again. All right, here we are in our second practice problem. I covered up all our numbers but the 5, so we're going to go 3 into 5, which is 1 time. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, we're now going to go ahead and move this guy over, and now we're just dealing with that 6. Bring the 6 down. 3 into 26. Well, 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. Let's do 8. That's another 2. And then we're going to move over one more time. Okay, 3 times 9 is 27. And I get 1 remaining. So my answer is 189 with a remainder of 1. Awesome. Okay. Now, if you're sitting there going, Ms. Kirkwood, I don't even know what you were doing in the first place, it could be because you don't know your steps to long division. So if you are one of those people, here's a reminder. And these are the steps that we do. We divide, we multiply, we subtract, we check, and we bring down. Okay. We're going to do that on this problem right here. But for some of you, a nice way to remember might be, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? I like to write this down my paper sometimes. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? So this little saying helps me remember the letters, and then I can go back and say, okay, the D's for division, multiply, subtract, check, and bring down. And I can kind of write that down on my paper, and it can help remind me what I'm supposed to do and what steps I'm doing. Okay. Again, if you already have all this memorized from elementary school, you're doing awesome. This is just review and some extra tips and tricks to help you out. Okay. So we're going to do this, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers, on this problem right here. And I'm still going to use my little sticky note because we have a lot of digits here. So let's go number by number, because I want to make sure that my quotient, my answer, has a digit above every number in my dividend. I want to make sure that none of these areas up here have any holes or have no answers above them. It's going to help me keep my place value once I get decimals. All right, so 15 into 7, nope, that goes 0 times. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over. 15 into 75, yeah, that's going to go in 5 times. 5 times 15 is 75 even. Okay, that was dividing. 15 goes into 75 5 times. Multiplying, 15 times 5. Subtracting, 75 take away 75. And now I'm going to check my answer. And this is just a way for me to make sure that what I'm doing is correct. Okay, as if my answer, my difference to this subtraction problem is smaller than my divisor, then I know, yes, I'm doing well, and I can move on. If my answer to my subtraction is bigger than my divisor, then I'm going to say, oops, 5 is not big enough and I would go up. But right now, 0 is smaller than 15, so I know I can continue. I'm going to go ahead to that next step that says bring down. And we're bringing down the 3. Uh-oh, 15 doesn't go into 3, so I need to put a place holding 0. Now I can move my sticky note all the way off, bring down that 5, and do 15 into 35. Well, 15 times 15, 15 plus 15, or times 2, is 30. Whoopsie. So I'm going to have 5 left over. So my answer is 502 with a remainder of 5. Now, down here, it says that I should check my answer by multiplying my divisor by my quotient. So if I multiply this number on the outside by the number on top, I should be able to double check my answer. Okay, so we're going to do that really quickly, and it's just double checks to make sure I did it right. So we're going to do 502 times 15, and then we'll add on that extra 5 at the end. And if we get our original dividend, then we know we did a good job. Okay, so 5 times 2, 5, 2, 0, 5. Oh, I was like, wait a second, it's not right because I forgot about my remainder. I have to add that remainder to the end, and I get 7,535. And now I know, check, my answer is good, and I can move on. Okay. Here we are. Okay, another practice problem. So I'm going to cover them up. And again, you don't have to use the covering up sticky note. I just highly recommend it because it does help you keep everything neat and orderly. All right, 32 goes into 3, 0. Ooh. Make sure that my little sticky note square is not too close to my number. It goes in 0 times. So now I can move it over again, just a little bit more. And we're going into 32. That goes in 1 time. Okay, 0 is smaller than 32. So that means that I am on the right track and I can bring down my next number. It cannot go into 7 evenly. Let's move this over. Bring down that next number. 32 goes into 72 twice. That would be 64. 8. The remainder of 8. Okay. Go ahead now and check your answer. I want you to do 32 times 102. And then in the end, your answer, you're going to add 8. And you want to know, does that equal 3,272? So pause the video real quick and check your answer and then come back and see how we did. And there you go. We checked our answer and we got the same thing, so we know our final answer is correct. All right, do this last problem for me. So go ahead and pause the video, do this one and check it, and then come back and see if you got it right. Did you get 103 remainder 32?